The last time, like my peak in Academy, it was at Grand Finals, and then we fell short 3-2 in a 5-game series. So I was really, really close to winning, and then unfortunately, we didn't manage to win Game 5 against FLICKR. So anything but winning Academy would feel pretty disappointing, I would say. So I think with the roster we have, we definitely can win the split, and pretty confident hitting into playoffs.
Welcome back to Academy MSI, where Echo Fox picked up the Game 1 win. So 100 Thieves will be selecting blue side to start things off on this time. And what are we feeling about the draft? What are we feeling that is going to come in or be banned?
Oh, I think you have to react to Kale somehow, whether that is picking a more dive-focused top laner or something, or a stronger jungle matchup to kill it, or you have to probably ban it. You could also make sure that you are saving picks for other parts of the map to see if it's coming in later. But this is a champion I think is going to have to change what happened in Game 1. That was a huge problem. The Sylas as well for Yasui was super, super, super good. So he's got my eye kind of, and I think we'll see a little bit more focus on the solo lane matchups. And there was already the early pick of the bot lanes, but you can only show part of that probably in the future. If you just take both right away, that's a bit of a mistake. So keeping the jungler maybe a little bit early on. There were a ton of jungle bans, and it was taken late in the draft. I see junglers maybe moving up a little bit more in the draft, and Lost, despite as much as we're talking about all these other champions being the star of the late game, it was actually Lost on Xayah who crushed the game.
Yeah, he did very, very well. We just saw his stats there on the screen, and this is why I like this guy. When he gets into that moment, he goes really hard. Teams behind him, and Echo Fox worked that way really well towards the end of the game, especially when they were getting split. Making those calls after you've lost 3-4 fights becomes pretty difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it was like kind of exactly in his wheelhouse that game. There are so many priority targets and people diving in and things to focus on that he had a bit of freedom to play as aggressive as he likes to play and really step up and start hitting people.
He says, what this game's lost? That's my name. I'm sorry. Too much sitting by Freak.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
I don't know. Freakfection. Jace, Draven Nocturne. Let's see what else we have. So Lost actually gets hit there on the Draven again. Panda will lose his Nocturne. Actually played quite a bit of Jarvan as well when you saw him in the LCS on those weeks. And there's the Sylas actually getting banned out because Yasui doesn't want to face it possibly, as well as Fake God put that into the works.
Yeah, seems like maybe the first pick priority there.
What else? 2 more, 1 from each. 100 Thieves. Trying to figure out what they would want to hit here. A lot of Echo Fox banned out that Jace, the LeBlanc, and whatnot from when they were on the blue side. Making sure Soligo didn't get a good first pick for himself. They focused Fake God and Soligo most of the time. There's that Lissandra, however, that is a big flex for 100 Thieves, knowing we've seen that at support. And also that Galio. They're going to be able to grab that once again for stun. He had a very effective lane with it.
Yep. Had a decent game, but did bump into some trouble with how...
A very effective mid-game. Good call.
Yeah.
Right.
They did get rid of the Thresh again, like you said. This does open up the LeBlanc pick, which was banned out early on. It is a fairly strong champion and pretty good as a blind pick. Doesn't really have too many difficult matchups. Does force your team comp a little bit away from team fighting, which it did feel like that was kind of a focus last game. So I'm not quite sure if that's actually what Soligo is going to go for. The Jarvan coming through. And like I said, no surprise, junglers going up a little bit in priority in this draft.
It's good for an Olaf and a Skarner. You don't want to get stuck in Cataclysm, then you become basically a jungler fighting a jungler, and Jarvan loves that. So we have Xayah in there as well. Let's see what Fragus decides to pick here with Soligo. Look at that beard. It's great. We need more of those in the LCS. Academy's bringing them up.
I shaved today for it. I'm sorry if I let you down.
It's all right. I won't tell anyone.
Same bot lane here for 100 Thieves, saying, that was fine. We had other problems that game, like the Sylas and whatnot, so feeling like some of the changes already in the draft, and they're comfortable. But that was a tough matchup. I mean, Lost and Phil were pretty far ahead in farm and started turning dives. I mean, you need to remember, Panda made a huge mistake that time where he kind of 1v2'd and died for it. But they're going to go a lot more powerful early on with the Kindred. Very strong jungler.
I like this. Everybody becomes a diver now. It's a little more easy for Prismal to get in there on the Kaisa. He'll be going 2 games in a row on that. A rinse and repeat as well for both Lost and Phil on the Zaya and Rakan Lovers bot lane duo.
And interestingly, both mid laners and top laners not taken, which makes the bans a little weird. There is still LeBlanc, which was, from last game and one of Soligo's best champs. We'll have to see what else they do. The Rise is another thing he's been playing a lot of, as well as when he was playing for 100 Thieves Academy. You have to think they got a lot of practice with that champ. So even though the player might be different, that still is a staple champ. So maybe the Rise will show up as well.
5 seconds. 100 Thieves choose Eco, actually, taking that out of the hands of Lorlo. We just saw that again in the LCS.
Yeah, and it was played by 100 Thieves Academy themselves, so might have their focus somewhere else. The Akali did do pretty well, so I could see 100 Thieves going back to that. Echo Fox sticking with their Soligo focus, get rid of the Syndra, saying we're not worried about that Rise.
What is that final ban? It is going to be the Kale. They finally feel like it was that pressure pick that's going to make them put it in his last ban. So Lorlo will have to choose something different this game. It may be this pick here, so Yasui can go ahead and get that final counter.
Not a surprise.
Or not.
There's the Zoe.
Yep.
The staple mid laner. And with the Kale gone, it is one of those champs you can save bans for. You probably don't need to first ban it. It's strong, but you kind of show your hand too early.
It feels good. Most played for Yasui coming into the Academy this split, so he knows exactly how to paddle his opponents with those stars. And Prismal will be locking in. Fake out to Kali again. That was very effective last game. Feels comfortable. Why not roll on it one more time? So they have 3 champions that they're repeating here for 100 Thieves. Getting a little comfort into the best of 5 here the second game around.
Could be 4. So we can see the Rise potentially, and it does feel like Echo Fox is kind of baiting it. So I'm really excited to see what Yasui plays that Zoe into
Order yourself onto Lamb's Respite.
Oh,
Vladimir
instead. The Rise would be a difficult-ish matchup for the against Zoe, excuse me. So no surprise, he does not want to go back to it. Vlad, I mean, Zoe's one of those champions who's actually surprisingly decent in lane, and Vlad more focused on surviving with the heal, and then you can get all-in opportunities.
Great to get to level 9 as well.
You do get some burst potential, assuming if he goes with the Ignite and kind of get like the Flash R, fully charged E with empowered Q. You can potentially kill the Zoe, but you got to be pretty good about it. And Echo Fox will finish their draft off with the Aatrox for Lorlo.
I really would have liked the Rise one more time for 100 Thieves. I feel like maybe lack a little bit of CC for the team you're going to be up against. They have a lot of ways to flip and fly and dip and dash around, but so does 100 Thieves, so maybe they're going to use that to their advantage. They love to fight, and if they're going to be in the fight anyways, hey, they don't want to get away from CC.
Yeah, and it looks like they're actually going to send the Vladimir top lane, and we have seen a fair amount of Aatrox into Vladimir, so that's why you see that last pick, and it's going to be the Akali into Zoe. Not too bad. You do have a lot of opportunities to hop onto her, so I do like these matchups a little bit more. You kind of maybe a little bit more difficult for your top lane, but FLICKR was doing pretty good last game, all things considered.
Lorlo's going to be on the Aatrox this time around after having a pretty devastating game on Kale. He was able to kind of wait out the early game. Fragus and FLICKR did pressure that lane twice, going up to blow Lorlo's flash as soon as they could. Each time it was up. We'll see if that focus stays the same. We also saw Panda in the face of Fragus quite a bit in that early game, so we'll see if he stays on it. Panda now, instead of on the Olaf, he's on the Jarvan, so he can still be aggressive in that early game, but Fragus, instead of the Skarner, is on a Kindred, so I think he's going to apply a little bit more pressure as well.
Yeah, should be in a better spot. Have that mobility to hop onto people, get some invades, get some camps early, what you want to do. Strong dueling champion.
It's good. We said you're going to get stuck in there as Skarner or Olaf, so now he has a champion that can hop out of Cataclysm too. Just doom, doom.
Yeah, and I mean, they have a lot of kind of fun champions to work with the Kindred. Vladimir can charge his E, so right when it drops, you blow everybody up. You can also have the Hemo Plague on, ready to go.
That is cool.
Soligo being able to stealth around inside of it, stuff like that. And on the side of Echo Fox, of course, Aatrox plus Kindred just means really annoying and in a good way for the Kindred team against the Aatrox, because he pops his blood well and he's like, haha, you can't kill me. And you're like, that's fine. Arl does that for you anyways. And you can kind of make his blood well time out if you're able to use it at a good time.
So just quick monitor issue as we get this fixed up. I saw 100 Thieves type as they were ready, so we're just waiting for this to get underway. So with that, Echo Fox is coming back really quick, but I don't feel like 100 Thieves, or from that last game I should say, but I don't think 100 Thieves really lost too much momentum there. Right up to the end, they had the lead, they knew what they were doing right, they knew how to get in on the Echo Fox. And I feel like they still feel good coming into the second game. The loss, it'll hurt, but they have more chances.
Right, and with a series like this, you can kind of repeat some of the things that didn't work last game. So you see the Kai'Sa and the Galio, and you go backstage after you kind of lose lane phase, and you say, hey, what happened? Can we run that again? They say, yes, we just need a better jungler matchup, so that way we're not, we have a little bit more protection. We're not getting dove behind our turret when we do start getting chunked a little bit. And so they identified the bot lane, and Akali has pieces they wanted to keep, and they swap out their jungler in top.
See how this one goes. Again, line of scrimmage right across. Nothing unorthodox going on for this one. A good forward ward placed in, though, to get an eye on where Fragus will be in that early game. So we have Ignite and Electrocute, obviously, for Yasui here. He'll be picking up summoner spells in the mid lane with his abilities. Onto the Cleanse of Soligo, trying to keep himself alive, but also an ability to jump around and execute. See where that kill pressure trends towards for this game.
Yeah, and I really like this matchup just because these teams are fairly different feeling in terms of how they play. We were talking about in the last game about how Echo Fox, 100 Thieves Academy tends to fall behind early in games and then kind of rally later. Whereas Echo Fox, kind of the flip side, they're like third in first blood percentage, second in goal difference at 15. They are a really early game focused team, and I liked how in their draft they had late game assurances so that they did get a lead that game, but then they fell behind a little bit, but then their super late game kicked in. This time a little bit more all in on the early game and mid game. They still have the loss on the Xayah, but it's not nearly as much insurance with the other champs.
Ooh. So this is almost exactly what happened last time. And he is going to have the fight once again onto Fragus. Will he blow the flash? Will he get the kill this time? It was a good trade back. Fragus could not do that and get the damage in. And this time 100 Thieves also has the upper hand on the lane, but it looks like they're going to have to get themselves out just to be safe. Played a little bit better than it did last game, but Fragus still has to blow flash.
Super scary situation too, because even with the kind of wraparound that Panda got onto Fragus, it's one of those things where Kindred can still win that fight pretty easily. You know, if he was able to potentially flash the knockup or something, then you kind of have the range, and he already used his combo, and there's nothing else going on. So
he's not giving up.
Panda's staying really aggressive, knowing he has the flash. He's going for the Scuttle Crab, actually.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Going for both Scuttle Crabs.
Smart move, though. Lane's pushed up, so Ligo can get in there real quick, and Panda would basically be dead to rights. A good grab. He will notice that the Scuttle's taken, rather, but that Scryer's Bloom will show him that blue is gone.
Yep, and he did see that. Oh, he got the smite off.
Very nice. I like that little cheeky play coming in from Panda as he wants to get under the skin of Fragus to start things off on his Kindred.
We'll have to see how Fragus responds, because last game, despite once again kind of getting harassed a lot by Panda, he had a good reaction where he was able to kind of split the map. We'll see if he is going to go for that again. Good pathing, knowing, yeah, I'm getting pushed out of my jungle, but that means you're not in yours.
24 to 19 top. It looks like Fake God will be able to clean those up as they come into the turret, but Panda's hovering, hoping to possibly see a counter coming around as he has lost track of Fragus at this point in time. Still on the bot side of the map, though. They kind of are pinging on the bot, saying there might be a potential gank here, but we don't have the minion wave to do it just yet. Looks like we're going to see Fragus going ahead and back home.
Yeah, I didn't see where the Kindred marked her, but I don't think he got any, so yeah, a little unfortunate given that he was given some decent access to those spawns. Didn't get either of the Scuttle Crabs, which is why you saw Panda kind of playing so aggressive, because the first mark is always on a Scuttle Crab. And since he hasn't picked one up yet, he has to wait for the Scuttles to spawn to potentially get his first mark. He couldn't have spawned on one of the creeps that he was invading for. So Panda's showing some good counter Kindred kind of knowledge.
Keeping Frag us down just a bit. Looks like he's going to try to get a ward over and make sure nothing's happening onto Dragon. And fearful of the Krugs. You just saw a danger ping going down on that and had Stunt hover up just a little bit, making sure that jungle's going to be safe. So they're figuring Panda is on his own side now and they can breathe a sigh of relief. Back to the mid lane, 37 to 35, pretty all even as the minion dematerializers are being used effectively. Still 3 left for each. There's the second one going in is, ooh, sleep underneath. Does he find it? Oh, the no-look paddle star. Very nicely done.
Yeah, it does use his ignite, but was still not targetable by the W that shows up when you use a summoner spell, as Frag is caught out of position a little bit here.
Ooh, he has a teammate to help, though. It's going to be a 3v2 real fast. Yasui
Nice
just over the wall. No mana for Yasui. This is going to be an auto-attack fight for him. Lost finally able to leave lane as there was just too many. A flash over the wall as he used the W summoner. That was real summoner to get out. He stays alive. No kill onto Phil just yet, but they have dropped Fragus. They're looking for it onto Panda, but he stays alive. He's got some thick fur. Phil goes down as he tries to make it out of the fight. Soli goes somehow still standing tall as he swings the Kama around right above his head. Yasui lost about 400 combined HP, channeling just to the right. Panda is watching his team go down as they lose Lost. And a 2-for-1 in the beginning of the game here for 100 Thieves.
Such a complicated fight, but starts with Fragus' footwork. If he doesn't manage to dodge all the CC without his flash, this would have gone turn so much faster. Dodges the knock up there. EQ combo comes in, dodges that one as well, which allows him to kind of keep DPSing and forcing Fox out. Next person to watch Yasui flashes in for the kill, but it kind of baits the rest of his team because he knew he was going to pick up a summoner, but now everyone was trying to help him out, get that last kill. And they're not able to get out. Prismal able to follow. Lost the aggressive player, kind of getting baited. They had vision, so I'm pretty sure he should have known that Stunt was coming up. Maybe didn't know he still had his flash available, so the flash taunt surprised him, which is once again just setting Prismal up for another kill. And instantly, this bot lane has gone a complete 180 from last game.
100 Thieves feeling good. We were seeing mismatch backs last game as Stunt would come back to lane. Then Prismal, as they were getting pushed out, having to help Fragus in the jungle there works out a bit in their favor, and this time they come up. Now Prismal has that 450 gold bounty on him. Double pickaxe to start things off. So he's going to come back pretty strong against the single of Lost.
Yeah, did pick up his first mark there. Wasn't sure if it was in the fight from killing someone or if it was from the invade. But now you can see that he has a mark on that Gromp. Going to probably be looking to grab that.
Slowly moving in, a good pressure up here from Prismal and Stunt. Panda's going to use this advantage top side as well. Fake God should be able to get out, throws down the Hemo Plague. Cataclysm is right on the other end of this one if they get him onto the turret. Good flash, actually, to get the range there and too much aggro attention on Panda from the turret. 100 Thieves are going to be able to grab Dragon off this as well. And now Fake God's able to absorb a little pressure on the top side. Perfect execution. Soli go as he hits the E, and he just kicks right back into the face of Yasui.
And such a different game already. Mid lane going better for 100 Thieves, bot lane going better for 100 Thieves. But this time, the top side's the one eating the pressure, having to lose their flash. But all in all, you are happy for that. I think they stole the blue buff away, as well as getting the Infernal Drake. And now Panda's sensing that they need to make something happen. They're going to go for this top dive.
Fake God felt that he saw his vision denied there for a second. Uses the pool late. Big damage for the World Ender. He's going to get a hit onto Panda. He did before he gets out. No execution. And he gets a retribution kill for himself there.
Was able to get the kill, but not exactly what you want. You still trade one back. Vladimir is more than okay with that. Also, the kill did not end up on Lorelo, so he's not benefiting quite as much. And here's that solo kill. Just this is why it's hard to play Zoe into the Akali. Just so much mobility. Yeah, taking the cleanse in the matchup. You think Ignite would help you more, but if you cleanse off the bubble, you can just stick on top of the Zoe, whose only mobility puts her right back to where she started with anyways.
So let's say they don't have too much CC on their side. They're just looking to break CC. They want nothing to do with it. In your face and out so quick, you won't even know what happened. That's what happened to Yasui there. He's going to stay close, or stay far, but close with that cleanse on his W summoner.
Yeah, and we also saw there that Fragus got his third mark.
Well, that started quick.
Yeah, he got the one on the scuttle, just grabbed the one on the Raptor and got one from the kill, so he's one away from getting that upgrade to his range.
Yeah. what else is happening around in these item inventories. Just boots for Yasui. He's trying to keep himself dealing damage from afar. And topped off with Corrupting Potions. Quick clear there. Lorlo not doing too bad with his assist. Gets himself a Phage so he can keep his speed against Fake God as he continues to just steal life from him. Teleports are down for the top laners as we do not have Drake for a little bit longer, but Fragus is going to feel like he can start on Rift Herald here for 100 Thieves, so they can make some extra moves on the map.
Yep, got a lot of control right now with how bot lane and mid lane have kind of gone, as well as the jungle. And even your top lane is not, you know, it's not on fire. It could be much worse. Getting dove pretty forcefully and trading back kills is a fine spot to be in. And with this Rift Herald as well, with a fair amount of time left before turret plating drop, you gotta think Fragus knows he has a lot of potential places to give gold to one of his players. It's just about who's gonna be able to use that the best. It's less about, I think, taking a turret when you have it this early. It's more about who wants an influx of 400 extra gold.
There's a little bit of plate gold on the bot side. 3.5 minutes left for 3 minutes 10 seconds left for that, I should say. They get 2 quick ones. Even with that bulwark up, they were able to put a good amount of damage down. Resistance for 20 seconds, depending on how many people take down a plate. And they chew right through 2 of them. Oh, the ultimate and the quickness is on as well. Prismal stays alive somehow, and so does Stun. They're able to get a great retaliation on this, and the counter is going to be bad for Echo Fox. They start getting their full pulled out left and right, and Phil is going to go down to fill the pockets of 100 Thieves with a bit more gold. 6-2 now, just 11.5 minutes in.
I was worried that they went a little bit too early. They were standing on top of a ward, and Fragus was making his way down, but Stunt and Prismal both walk forward, baiting the engage. The Kindred was not quite there yet, but they still are able to stay alive and then collapse on that for 2 more kills, giving Kindred her 4th mark. She's got the range. Also, there's no one alive left, so they're able to get a nice Rift Herald off. Get a lot of gold in Prismal's pocket, and now you have this Kai'Sa already has the 100 damage needed for the Q evolve, and she is off to the races with all that gold.
See how they keep themselves alive in this one. That initiation is almost spot on from Phil.
Yeah, Stun has a really nice taunt here to make sure that even though they kind of go over the top of the Galio right onto the Kai'Sa, he still gets the double taunt up to stop any extra damage from coming in from the Jarvan or the Rakan, which is why Kai'Sa is able to live with around 50 HP. They still would have probably died because this was a great collapse from 100 Thieves, but it makes sure that there's absolutely nothing answered back for Echo Fox.
Almost like they felt like that was coming. The Spidey senses were tingling as the play happened. Let's see how much more 100 Thieves can read about Echo Fox. Getting that early game lead in their favor now, and they find Panda.
Oh no.
Just spawning off to this play, and it looks like he's going to be going back down, but they are pinched in here. Pinched from both sides, Lost and Phil, and they're going to look like they're going to take the 3v2 fight first. In goes Soligo. They get a little bit of help from Stunt, and that's going to disengage the fight for now. No real action top lane, and Prismal, he's just pushed bot. Don't worry about Prismal.
100 Thieves are kind. I think they could have kept going and dove a little bit more. They had the Kindred ult available. They had Kai'Sa in the range with her ult. They potentially could have pushed that a little bit harder, but they make the smart, calculated play. Back off. You're getting the turret already anyways. There's a Drake to grab. And now a 3,000 gold lead already in their favor, and probably a scaling advantage as well.
Yeah, off to the races here for 100 Thieves. Usually, like you said before, they start that early game off low. They have to use their 3 thievery tools. It costs money. Then they can pick whatever pockets they want. It's a strategy they use. This time, it looks like they kind of had something invested up. They were able to go very early. This team of aggression really works out for them. They're able to just keep going fight after fight here. Fragus having a much better game too.
Yeah, now the Kai'Sa is free to start moving around the map, get her into other lanes. As you see, both teams kind of making their way up to the top side, matching bot lanes, but a couple extra people here for Echo Fox. I just had to film something for KDA, so.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but you did.
Hold on to your butts, NA. It's not gonna be nice.
The lost bait.
The
Can
classic.
you really bait though when only one other person's showing on the map? You're like, that's
It's been a long time since they saw anyone. Yes, they all passed through a pink ward, so they know that they weren't seen, but at some point you're like,
no thanks.
yeah. Probably not gonna work, but who knows?
6-3. Quite a bit of gold here, but Echo Fox able to get those 3 out of the bottom lane, I believe. with a few extras around the map. There's the initiation now on to stun. If they kill him instead of Prismal first, there's no taunt to come after. I like the thinking. Echo Fox come up with a big play and hopefully get a little bit of ground out of this one to push back on 100 Thieves.
The patient hunter, but now Yusui in trouble in mid lane.
5-point strike. Oh! But the 5-point strike is not the 5-point exploding calm technique. Yusui is alive.
The 5-point, I probably threw my E the wrong direction. I think Soligo was trying to snipe him with the E, but given that Yusui was actually further up the lane, that pushed him underneath the turret. The other option is the Golden Glue special, where you actually E backwards just to get on top of him for more auto attacks. Might have been the better play, because Soligo ended up missing the E. It's a very narrow skill shot, which put him in range. Take another look at this, as we start with the pickoff in the top lane. The patience is rewarded.
Yep. And we'll see this one more time.
Yep, you see Soligo.
Gotta get the cannon.
Sees him hop over the wall and says, aha, I know where you're gonna be. Jumps on top. It was just the ult. Oh, there's the backwards E, yeah. So if you throw, he was trying to snipe him with the E for the damage, but you could also just E out of turret range by throwing it up the lane, so you go backwards and end up directly on top of Yusui. I mean, this is the Kahali mechanics, man. She is a difficult champion.
Yeah, definitely high skill cap to get that movement down perfectly. Out of the river, Lost and Phil show themselves, so we've kind of rotated the map here towards the top side as the turrets are still up for a bit of laning phase. Fragus and Panda just on their respective sides, ready for a gank or counter gank as well. Forward wards are up there. There's 2 wards in a brush, 1 rear ward for 100 Thieves, so teleports are possible to get into that fight if it comes down to it. Bot laners, actually advantage here for 100 Thieves as Fake God is pushed up quite a bit on lower level.
And they're hunting their prey right now. They're gonna go over the wall. Did not want to get super aggressive. Stunt, no flash. Would have had a hard time getting in range, and he's kind of the setup. But now, with that aggression, they're overextended.
There are those TPs. Aatrox coming in, lower low. Not throwing down the ultimate just yet. They get a very low Fragus down to the Kindred Respite ultimate. Stays alive for a moment, and that's going to be Stunt going down first. Fragus now falls. A huge kill for Lost there in the double, but he gets killed. That's the shutdown going over to Prismal, and it's just back and forth with these shutdowns.
Oh, nice W.
Fox gets himself the safety, and Soligo as well on the other side of the wall.
Take it.
Very big back and forth, but a lot of gold was just traded in those kills.
And the biggest thing there was the fact that Fake God could not find a ward that he thought was going to be good to TP to, which I think was the right decision. The only option he has are things that they had already gone long past, and so he has to collapse in on his feet. Takes way too long, and it's basically a 4v5 that, despite Echo Fox playing decently, they couldn't get anything else.
Kind of playing with their food like you were saying, and then they didn't really want it as much.
Yeah, I mean, you see the TP start coming in. I guess if he did it right away and they knew it was coming, he could TP on that pink ward, but I don't think they had any idea that Aatrox was actually going to end up there. And here, Fake God says, well, I guess I'm just going to run over. A little bit too slow. Good target focus by Prismal, kind of going for all these low health targets, but he gets outplayed by Phil. First, he gets the stopwatch, then they kill him. And then by the time Soligo's going on to him, his W's back up. Nice job hopping over the wall.
Didn't want to take that shuriken back.
That's why I say I want to take it. It's like the least thank you. Take it.
It's probably my favorite champion to play in ARAM, that's for sure. You just hit someone and they always run back, and you're like, taking it all day. Lots of fun. Soligo already taken a few, and that's why he is 2-1-3. Had a pretty good mid lane against Yusui, most played champion on that Zoe for him. Not doing too bad, keeping the CS up, and has been able to participate in some of these fights. So the mid laners, easy threats for the team. Top laners have been doing well. Actually have a few kills under their belt. These are some kill-heavy games we've started off with for the series.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, though, it's been reasonable kill-heavy games.
For sure.
It's not like, oh, we're just NA ramming down mid lane, you know, like these have mostly been thought-out fights, TP flanks, diving bot lane where you have pressure, diving top lanes where you have pressure. Fake God in trouble again.
He does have stopwatch. He bought this a long time ago. Right after the second gank, he bought it to keep himself alive. Doesn't even have to go down and use it this time. Keep himself safe. This mid lane getting popped open, I'd say that's pretty great for 100 Thieves. It will be traded, however, by Echo Fox in the top lane turret. No, they back off. The minion wave wasn't big enough, and Fake God keeps top. That's actually pretty big.
Yeah, that's huge. You get to break the mid lane turret for free. Top lane makes it
interesting.
Not only is it a uneven trade of map advantage now that your mid lane turret's down, you didn't even get the gold back.
So all 3 outer turrets now stand for 100 Thieves. A very strong game to start off here. Each lane's going to bounce back that much faster to Fox. with that much more potential for this 100 Thieves team to want to be able to dive more. They want to dive, we know that. We'll see how much more they can do it. It's going to become scary walking out of turret range here for Echo Fox if they don't have the vision. They're setting it up right now, though. Doing a good job getting a little security in there.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a Zoe, so they kind of have that late game potential where no matter what, you can kind of blow anyone up. And there is a Kindred, so, you know, maybe you can bait her ult out. Maybe you can, you know, they have this tool to do that. And then they still have a decent team fight for the rest of their comp. But from behind, it becomes a lot more difficult to land poke because they have vision of you. You might not have vision of them. So this is not the ideal position for Echo Fox. I definitely think they were planning on being ahead this game.
6 stacks now for Kindred. So did reach that 4 mark. Now feeling pretty good. Has Phil marked. Gonna find Phil just around the corner too. Wolf getting hungry. They're just gonna go ahead and clean up Scuttle and get some vision around the Baron. Well, like you said, I don't know if it's something they want to do with the ability of Yasui to kind of just poke people out here from a decent range. He only has that Luden's Echo for now. He starts to build up a little bit more damage. Top lane should be going down to Soligo here as they kind of dance around mid and keep anything too bad from happening. That's a good trade back.
Yeah, and I think I like the
trade back with take, I should say.
Right, and I like the build from Froggus. You see, he's going for the more DPS focused Kindred. He's going Devourer plus Blade of the Rune King. You sometimes see people go Warrior, Black Cleaver. There's a lot of different options, but this is the one for when you're ahead and have a fair amount of gold, as we see.
Wow. That was quick. Just a few shots there. The auto's coming in. Panda can't do much to even get out of that. Flash is maybe up in 20 seconds, and easily a mentality that gets you into situations where you're getting a little more aggressive, and now it's 100 Thieves with the no 50-50 fight. It's still an opportunity for Echo Fox, but it is a grim one. Fake God's gonna get hit up, taken out right away. I don't know if they can finish this one now. Soligo's just on the backside. He's looking for a prime target. He has Yasui in his eyes. Paddle Star to start on Yasui's side as they trade just about the same amount of damage. Over the wall, he can focus. Gunblade now for Yasui as he wants to throw in some extra damage, and they're sizing up Echo Fox for the rest of the fight. It gets difficult fighting in and out of the brush, but they don't know that 100 Thieves still has vision as they exit now into the mid lane. All teams are gonna be safe as they just lose Fake God on that top side.
Fake God with the right idea, but not knowing where the vision is. He wants as Vlad to let the enemy team walk up to the Baron buff. They overextend trying to contest it, and then you have a free, easy flank on the enemy backline, but it's on top of a ward. Gets blown up, and then it's a 4v4, which 100 Thieves actually don't have that many tools left up for.
Right. Still the vision about Baron. Soligo coming in from the side there was really able to prevent quite a bit from happening. But we'll see where everything started.
Yeah, Panda, whoa, buddy. That's not the play. Kind of just EQing.
Too. I didn't even see that before.
Yeah, just EQing in front of the Kaisa, and I would have to go back and double check, but I think he had a pretty easy path to just kind of walk the other way. I don't know why he went through mid lane.
It's like
you can go over the wall and to the right or something.
Yeah. I feel that, though. There's situations you do that. You know, when you're coming back through mid by Raptors or Wolves, and you're like, my team's here. They won't aggress. I can get by. Oh, man, I made a mistake. Don't do that again.
Yeah, definitely don't do that again. Big mistake by Panda there. I mean, good job by his team bailing out of it and you know, making
this
sure
is
that
also
they didn't lose the Baron off of it.
Sometimes it's not always about following the bad call to make it good.
Wait for yourselves to be able to make a better one.
Yeah, but wait for the better call. Oh, Lorlo taking quite a bit of damage here. They don't have too much slow to keep him in range if he can keep dashing and getting his swings out. So he gets the safety. Flash was, however, used there, so his initiation of getting into these fights, I mean, even out of these fights, becomes a bit scarier. And 100 Thieves, again, getting very small objective control, whether it's a kill, whether it's a bit of damage, or a summoner. It doesn't matter for Echo Fox, though. They still want the fight. A nice quickness coming in, but Phil goes down immediately. We've been seeing that a lot. The supports going out. They're the first ones in the fight. They're the first ones out at this point. A resurrection coming up quite quick, and we'll see if Yasui can stay up. He goes down. Soligo with that execution. Panda keeps himself alive, but the killer instinct of Prismal is able to take him down as the rest of Echo Fox run for the hills.
Yeah, Echo Fox wanted to posture up around the second Infernal Drake. They felt like the game was getting away from them. If they lose the second Infernal, they're going to already get outscaled and crushed in the late game anyway, so they stand their ground. They pick their fight here, but it's on to stunt the enemy Galio, lowest priority target, and it still takes them a while to actually kill him. And after that, they kind of get cleaned up, and an easy Baron for 100 Thieves.
Said that momentum was there at the end of the game. 100 Thieves are definitely still feeling it. Even though Echo Fox got that victory, 100 Thieves knew that they had and were onto something with the lead that they had in game 1. Here they're flexing it in game 2, and we'll see how they react to this fight.
Yep, they want to blow up, but they can't get stunned down that quickly. I mean, Phil actually dies first despite that. And this is still waiting for the rest of 100 Thieves to kind of get in range. So I can understand the idea. You think the enemy team split up. You want to blow up the support quickly, but it just takes way too long. Phil dies as well, and then the collapse comes in. And I still think the idea was one I can definitely get behind. You're falling out of this game. You got to make a play, and you thought that was it. Just didn't work out.
3-0 and 4 for Lorlo. Getting into these fights a little bit faster would be very beneficial for the team. Nice early damage around to Saligo, definitely making him think twice about staying longer. The team's going to come up and give him that advantage. So this is also that advantage of having the outer line of turrets down. You move faster through the jungle. You can keep the enemy team out of their own jungle. And you see 100 Thieves doing that to the top side now, as they can just rotate back and forth, keep each other protected. We just saw Fragus go from mid to top here, and now he's on the second tier with Saligo. Pressing up to the doorstep. 100 Thieves are 26 minutes into this game, knocking on the front door of Echo Fox's base.
Yeah, they got that 1-3-1 online. It's exactly what you want with the Baron buff, empowering every single lane at the same time. They're going to try and do something about it.
Fake God low, goes ahead and gets the Sanguine pull down as Prismo is very much protected in this fight. They're doing a great job of making sure he is the last target that Echo Fox can get to on that back line, and just wait for the next minion wave here. They just have to be careful they don't get themselves into a sticky situation as Fragus waiting for the hop. Oh, he missed the hop over the wall. No, he calls in stun. This could be a real bad situation. Echo Fox are in their base, but can they even hold it? The house is on fire. The roof's falling through. Yasui trying to get out in the backside here as the inhibitor turrets are starting to go down. The world is ending for Lorlo, but it looks like he'll be able to stay just on the edge. It's big enough for all 6 of them there inside the base. And now they're going to be onto that last inhibitor turret if the minion wave won't just bring them to the Nexus.
Yeah, there's the difference between last game's Rakan and this one. There's no Pale to make them invulnerable, so Phil insta-pops and 100 Thieves take a very nice fight in the enemy base, baited out by Fragus. They're able to close this game out and answer the series, making it 1-1.
Echo Fox doing what they can to stave off 100 Thieves, but their pockets have been picked, and 100 Thieves take victory in game 2.
Huge answer back, and this was such a great game for them. They basically had control from minute 5 onwards.
Yeah, that was definitely a different game all around, from the jungle, from Fragus switching around as well, thinking that Akali would be top. They said, we'll put that on the bot lane, and we saw the comfort picks rolling in of having the Kai'Sa again, the Galio again, and it actually worked out quite well.
Yeah, really smart adaptations in the draft. They stuck with their bot lane. They weren't scared showing it early again. I think just a better game in general out of Prismo and Stunt, that they didn't fall as far behind, as well as having a better jungle matchup really helped them in the early game. But this is completely against their MO. They didn't fall behind early. They weren't down and came back. They weren't, you know, they did have some late game scaling, but it was very much about their early and mid game decision making.
And we start off the replays as we get right back into seeing how this was done with 100 Thieves early game, and a quick replay on that. Starting off, as we said, much quicker. Usually they're using their thieving tools that cost money. They go down early. Gold at 15 isn't that great, but when you get a double kill on your Kai'Sa early game, that's fantastic.
Yeah, jungle invade kind of caught out. Fragus does end up dropping, but the enemy team had to kind of all in to get him. And then they just don't know when enough is enough. They're barely able to get out. It is a 1-for-1 at this point, but Lost thinks he can get a little bit more, gets over aggressive. And, you know, that's the kind of player he is. He wants big rewards, and you got to risk it to get it, but did not work out in his favor, and that was what set Prismo up to be 2-0-2. They tried to focus him down more and more, but they're on top of a ward. It's telegraphed. The TP comes in. This is what really broke the game open for them. They had the Rift Herald to drop afterwards, and they just kind of knew everything Echo Fox wanted to do and was able to get there beforehand.
Feels like, oh no, can't get out that way. And yeah, that one really hurts when you feel like the play is going to work. That's what Echo Fox got early game with last time. That's what was happening to Prismal. They say this time around, we know what's going to happen. A lot of great plays coming in from 100 Thieves this time, and it's something I feel like they can continue to reproduce. They didn't have to do anything very hard that was conditional, like X had to happen. They played well in each lane, and then they continued to help each other, and I think Fracas was very apparent in each lane this game.
Yeah, I think Fracas had a fantastic game, recovering once again from losing both his Scuttle Crabs. Still actually hit his Kindred marks at a pretty good timing, despite not getting either of the Scuttle Crabs early. So he had a really good game, and I think, you know, for 100 Thieves Academy, they're such a good, fun team to watch as an NA fan, because so many of these guys are relatively fresh to the scene, and they have a lot of hope riding on them. Fake God was super young, wasn't even sure if he wanted to go pro, went through the scouting grounds experience, and suddenly was like, oh, I guess I can do this.
This is pretty great.
Yeah, and he has a relationship with BoxBox, a famous NA streamer. So, like, he's someone who I think a lot of people are excited to see where his career goes from here. And same with a lot of the guys on 100 Thieves Academy.
Yeah, our next replay comes from that river fight where 100 Thieves were able to secure their Baron just after. And again, these initiations, like you said, you can't fault Echo Fox. They need that fight. They're a little bit behind, and it looked like it was in their favor.
Yeah, both the jungler and top laner weren't there, so you think you can get an odd man fight right away, but yeah. Phil dies right off the bat. Prismal is just hitting away on people, same with the Akali, and so they were able to quickly get those kills back in their favor. Baron's up, they grab that, and then with their 1-3-1 comp, that kind of outscales as well. Suddenly, game's over.
All right, so we've seen Panda and Fracas going aggressive, but mostly I think Fracas is kind of the one on the receiving end. We saw him counter a little bit and get himself into a good position. What do you think should actually happen in the jungle to benefit both of these guys? I kind of like Fracas on the Kindred or something like that, but if Panda is going this aggressive every game, is it the Jarvan again? Is that favoring his play style? Could there be something else?
If I was 100 Thieves, I wouldn't be worried about it, because while Panda does play really aggressive and makes a couple good moves, he also stumbles a couple times. In the Olaf game, going too aggressive.
So just expect it.
Yeah, let it. If he wants to take the really aggressive champions like a Jarvan, great. You took both my Scuttle Grabs. You're being really aggressive. But now you missed an EQ combo, and I'm killing you when you're jungle. Like, those are the kinds of things that feels like it's working out pretty well for 100 Thieves. I think the biggest thing is making sure their solo lane matchups are good. This is what was really different from the last game, where they were able to get the Akali into the Zoe and stuff and actually punish Yasui. They got a solo kill on him, and Yasui, like we were saying, is the star for Echo Fox. He's the guy who has the most kills and assists at 15. And if you can get winning matchups and Solo goes and wins those matchups, you know, it's a really hard time for Echo Fox, who's supposed to be an early game team.
Right. And kind of a weird question, because Xayah and Rakan are always awesome together. Do you do something else in the bot lane, or if you can keep getting Xayah Rakan and they like it, with Xayah Rakan?
I would go for it one more time. It's a weird game where you smash game one with this combo. Kind of get smashed game
and
two.
It fits into just about everything anyway.
Yeah, and
they're their own too.
The other team's doing the same thing as well. So I expect to see bot lanes ram back at least one more time this series. We'll have to see.
We will have to see. 100 Thieves tied up this series, and we'll have to see who takes game 3 after the commercial break. There are those TPs. Aatrox coming in, Lorlo not throwing down the ultimate just yet. They get a very low Fracas down to the Kindred despite ultimate. Stays alive for a moment, and that's going to be Stunt going down first. Fracas now falls. A huge kill for Lost there in the double, but he gets killed. That's the shutdown going over to Prismal, and it's just back and forth with these shutdowns.
Oh, nice W.
This could be a real bad situation. Echo Fox are in their base, but can they even hold it? The house is on fire. The roof's falling through. Yasui trying to get out in the backside. Here's the inhibitor turn.